So I went to the Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves movie this past weekend with basically with my whole gaming group, my whole D&D group, my son. One of my friends brought his whole family, all three of his kids and his wife. We had a big group going to this movie, and everybody loved it. That is the exciting news here. It is a really, really fun Dungeons and Dragons adventure. It really captures the spirit of playing D&D. If you play very serious campaigns, maybe not. But in my experience, even very serious campaigns with like grim, dark themes, most of the time you spend around a table rolling dice is making jokes, having a good time, being pretty lighthearted, and just, gaming. And this movie does a great job of capturing that feel, right? It never takes itself too seriously. Even its serious moments are really few and far between. It's the story of this Harper, played by Chris Pine, and his best friend Holga, a barbarian woman played by Michelle Rodriguez, and they've been imprisoned. You learn why, and then you learn about their quest afterwards. I'm not going to spoil it, but suffice to say, they've got to get the gang back. That includes a sort of a bumbling magician, a tiefling druid who's super overpowered and can turn into like any sort of creature, like hawks and owl bears and all sorts of stuff. Druids are overpowered. It's kind of hilarious. They meet up with one of my favorite characters in the whole movie, a paladin, who helps them on their quest and is the most straight and narrow, lawful good paladin you've ever seen, and it's perfect. It's so hilarious because, of course, the most obnoxious characters in a game are these lawful good bastards who never have any fun and take everything literally and don't understand irony. And it's just, they write his character so perfectly in that vein. I knew for sure when he was introduced that this movie was made by gamers for gamers, and I love that. There's also just, it's great to sort of be in for the Forgotten Realms in a major motion picture. It's sort of crazy. You get all these references to Baldur's Gate, and Neverwinter, and you go to these places, and it's cool. It's cool to have this setting brought to life in a movie. Granted, there's lots and lots of D&D settings, including the ones you make up yourself. But I think that they got the Sword Coast down right, and I think they did a great, loving job of bringing that setting to life. In a really lighthearted, fun adventure, swashbuckling, epic, blah, 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 I don't know. There's heist elements. There's great magical combat. I hate the sort of, two beams of magic collide and there's a locked deadlock of wills between the wizards' magic that we've seen in like Harry Potter and The Hobbit and all this stuff. There's none of that. The magic is much, much more creative. There's even a magical item called a hither thither staff, which is essentially just the portal gun from the Portal games, which is awesome. And I know that they did that on purpose, and it's so funny and great. I love it. There's lots of creative magic, which is wonderful. And then there's all these, there's references to Elminster. There's the Red Wizards of Thay. There's, all kinds of different monsters and I don't want to spoil everything. There's one really incredibly funny scene with a dragon, and it's probably the funniest, most creative dragon I've seen in a long time, which says a lot because there's a lot of good dragon stuff these days with, the Dragon Prince and the House of the Dragon and the most recent season of The Legend of Vox Machina, which is another wonderful D&D story brought to life on not the big screen, but on the little screen. I love The Legend of Vox Machina, and I love this movie. Vox Machina is probably the better of the two. It's also much more adult, so this is much more like humor geared to all ages. So you can bring your kids, don't have to worry about any nudity or, dick jokes or anything like that. But it's still very funny. It's not like kiddie humor. It's not dumbed down for kids. It is kind of dumb, but in a fun, lighthearted way that really evokes tabletop gaming and pays homage to D&D, lots of Easter eggs, but also it's the kind of movie that's good for everybody. You don't have to play D&D to enjoy that stuff. That's extra. That's extra sauce. That's all gravy, right? Whereas the movie itself has funny, fun characters, a remarkably hysterical cameo from Bradley Cooper, and just I don't know. Guys, I'm just excited about this movie. I want to go see it again, and that is a rare thing for me. I very rarely go to a movie twice. It's almost unheard of that I go to a movie twice, but this is one I want to see again. I want to go to it on a bigger screen, and I just think it's one of those movies that I'll probably be able to watch lots of times. And I think it's going to be one of those movies that a lot of kids grow up with and find a real special affinity for, and will watch when they're older with nostalgia and love. So yeah, definitely go see this in the theaters if you get a chance, and I hope that you enjoy it as much as me. I think it's also nice that this movie, while very, very diverse, doesn't ever shove diversity down your throat or try to tell a political message. D&D, in my opinion, has always been a diverse, welcoming game for everybody. For as long as I can remember, D&D was, it was never about just like tough dudes. There was always like barbarian warrior women and, like badass sorceresses and stuff, right? And it was never, racially homogenous either. Like D&D, unlike something that's like rooted in like history or myth, like Tolkien or something like that, D&D has always kind of been a grab bag of everything you can imagine and anything you want to put into your game. And I like that this movie, allows for all that diversity and all of that, just whatever, and does it in a way that just doesn't even matter. You don't have to think twice about it. So many movies and TV shows these days are almost self-congratulatory. Oh, look how diverse we are. Look how progressive we are. Look how, but this movie just does its thing. And it doesn't ask you to think about that stuff. It doesn't try to send that message. The message that it's really sending, the baked-in themes of this movie are about camaraderie, friendship, loyalty, overcoming enormous odds, all that good stuff that we want to see in a good fantasy adventure. So so enjoy it. I went in, cautiously optimistic and left very, 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 very happy. So thanks for watching. I knocked my coffee over. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the I'm all discombobulated. Fortunately, it didn't really spill. Hit the notification bell, and thank you for watching. Peace. Thank you.